I basically was pre-med since we came to this country, really. My mom was a pharmacist and she wanted the best for me, like any mother would. And she, being in the medical field, she really thought that was the best option for me as a student, a woman. So that's what I did. I was a good girl. So I studied that through college. And in college is when I discovered architecture. My roommate was a French major, and she was always going to go away her junior year to France and to study for her junior year abroad. So she told me about this Columbia University architecture shape of two cities program, New York and Paris. And I went there for a year or a semester in Columbia in New York and then a semester in Paris, and pretty much fell in love with it. Design-wise is seeing the architecture that you've always studied in books come to life, right? And a lot of times it was, wow, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. But it was just, magical, really, being there. Going to Villa Savoie, the Le Corbusier house, just sort of touching the materials on the walls and the tiles in the bathroom. Oh, I remember that now. Sorry, it's bringing back memories, and that was the best part of it, for sure. I met my husband in grad school. He was a year ahead of me. Each class is like 35, 40 students. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I think he was one of the TAs for my class, one of my classes. So we met then. One of the reasons why I chose Yale was they have a building project. So at the end of first year, you actually get to build a house, not only as a team design it, but they sort of had a program like Habitat for Humanities. And that was, for me, that was much more experiential than sort of just designing on the computer and just drawing. So that made Yale stand out for sure. I'm more sympathetic to people and how they use their space, especially their office. Knowing that anyone who wants that kind of space, or thinking about it now, it's you have to pay attention to the materials or how it works functionally, more so now than before, where the office before was like, okay, well, you just pop on your laptop and, on the weekends when you want to kind of get away from the family or something, or maybe late at night you want to work, you can use that space. But for now, I think it would be 50-50 or whatever the percentage may be in your industry. I think there'll be time at home always. And I think Zoom's here to stay. Sadly, I don't know, but depending on who you ask. We live in a townhouse and we had rented the downstairs apartment ever since we moved in. It's a 2-bedroom. And funny enough, the renter left a month before COVID. And once we realized COVID was more than a month, we basically connected that apartment to our house again, because we had basically left the door threshold inside the wall. So we cut it back out. We cut the sheetrock and brought the old door back from the cellar and installed it, and then basically furnished the whole downstairs. So the boys go to school downstairs in the living room. There's 2 separate tables for each of one table for each of them. And then we now have a guest bedroom and a sort of like another family space, which is kind of nice. And it sort of adds another layer to the house where we can be far away from each other when we were all just too close. So it's helped a lot. I love seeing material that I know but used in a different way. I think we're all kind of jaded sometimes when we see the same material over and over again. I mean, not to say that there's no value in that, but being innovative is, I think, and is fun. Oh my God, no way. Are you serious? No. We tried to watch a design show on Netflix, and we were just like, this is too stressful. Like, I can't, this is not taking me away from something I do during the day. I'm not decompressing. Either I could watch a murder mystery gore, or I'd rather watch that than watch a design show sometimes, because it's just like, I just need a break. We all need a break. I think the stresses are different at different stages of the game. When you're designing something architecturally, it's sort of coordinating the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, the structural, all of those things, so that for the client, they don't see any of that, right? But there's work that's involved in trying to make it as minimal and as possible, so you don't have this huge soffit to get a ductwork from here to there. So that's something I think maybe is not as appreciated, but it's something that we do and we're concerned with, because we want to keep that invisible. And once that step is trying to find a good sense of what the client wants, and simultaneously as something that you feel like they would like. So finding that combination, that's stressful too. So like, I look at materials and go, this is wonderful, but I don't want to show them just because I like them. I think it's something that they have to live with it at the end. So in that sense, I feel like design is a collaboration. Like the client, the project is good as the client makes it as well, because they're, there's a range of good clients and better clients, and someone who motivates you and inspires you as well, I think are the best kind. So that process of getting there is a little bit stressful. How much hanging, how much folded clothes, how much drawer space. Like, you really get to know them pretty quickly. Which side of the bed, which is, not very many people know that, but the architect and designer will. If there's a couple, you say, we always ask that. Because you may want, be particular about your lighting, the switches on your side versus the lamp or the lighting, or having water by your bed all the time. So what kind of storage you want? Do you want a drawer, or maybe you don't want a drawer? Do you want just shelves? Especially an existing apartment or existing house, they want to do a couple of little things, but then they decide, having reassessed, if they're going to do it, they should do it all now. So that's how it gets a little bit bigger. And it kind of makes it, as long as they can do it, I think it definitely makes it worthwhile for us and more exciting for them too. So once you start touching a little bit of the old's going to look worse if you just touch a few rooms. So then you start touching everything. So that kind of snowballs sometimes. And then you want a big picture too, right? You don't want to go in and going, unless there's a definitive line of like, this is new and that is old. I think those are hard to kind of come by, but we always end up touching the old a bit, just so that it connects and makes sense with the new. Yesterday was an important day for me. Maybe I've known it since this summer when this whole studio experience began. But I know now for sure that architecture is a part of who I am. I totally agree with her, my critic, with any sort of art form, it has to be within you and part of you. No one can force you to do architecture. You have to love it to do it. And I know I've found my love. You don't know how relieved I was last night when I went to bed to feel and acknowledge how much I felt about it. Then I said, I'm so happy. I think I have every reason to be. I'm in Paris, I'm 20, and I'm studying something I love.